Okay, back again. So I've got my dots here ready to kind of push this all back. So I'm going to invert my mask, come to the side, get my move tool, just draw that straight up, rotate back around where I can see it, and grab the center and hold shift. Just pull those up until they kind of push up into there, and then clear the or no, sorry, do not clear the mask, just invert the mask, and that way, and then we can come back later in the next step and Dynamesh it to smooth those out. But I need that masking in there to act as the, to make the bristles. If you need to, you can come down to masking down here and contract it a little bit if you need to, shrink mask maybe a little bit, and then sharpen it. But I think it's going to be okay as is. So when you get those ready, let's see, I have my polygroups, I have my masking. I want to go to fiber mesh, and then preview, and let's see what we get here. Okay, so let's go to our modifiers. Number looks okay. Length I definitely need to take up. Let's try 600 because I want to go longer than I'm really going to need. Let's go even bigger than that. 1,000 maybe. Well, let's see what we get with gravity, and then I can always, once I start changing gravity, I can always lengthen them. Yeah, see, it's kind of shooting off to the side over there. So let's see, my gravity profile, my focal shift, I'm just going to take to 0 and start moving these guys up. Yeah, that's looking good. Let's see, twist, I don't need any twist in it. And then, yeah, number of segments is one thing that can really help. If I hold control over, you can see that it just adds segments to the length of the brush. Right now it has 3. Let's try 10 on that and see how it does. Yeah, that made them a lot straighter. And don't worry about these extraneous ones down here. We're going to clip all this, or not clip, but slice and then delete all that. So let's see, that's looking good. They're coming out of the holes. They're about the right size. Let's see. One thing I may want to do is I may want to shrink that again just to get smaller, slightly smaller clumps. I don't know. I kind of like the way that looks fairly dense. I think I'm just going to make them longer and lop them off. So let's try 1,500 maybe. There we go. Yeah, that looks good. And if that starts changing gravity, you can come down and start playing around with it. Let's see what we get here at 0. Whoa, zaps it out. Let's take it up. Yeah, there we go. It's starting to, put more and more gravity on it. Get it a little straighter. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And I'm probably going to lop it off somewhere in here. So yeah, it looks nice and dense through there. All right. Another thing you can play with here is the coloration, but it's not going to matter because at some point I'm going to add color back to these things anyway. So, but the way this works is you can change the color here. If I want to make the base say white, I could, or dead black, and then the tip say white, I could, and there's a fall off for that. That you can adjust, with the color profile here. But again, it's not going to matter because I'm going to add my own color to this. All right. So once you get your bristles looking pretty good, you can just come up here to accept and activate the fast preview mode. I'm just going to zap them in like that. and that just means that it's not making them render. If you BPR these things, you'll see that they'll look more like what you were seeing in the preview. In fact, they might look even better. Just understand, this thing can run up the face count. Yeah, see how those look pretty good. And you'll see that made it if I come to my subtool, now I've got a Dynamesh here for these bristles. In fact, let's do some renaming. And let's make you handle, just to be a little more organized. All right, so to make them behave a little bit better, I could use my clip brush here, but it has a tendency to, sorry, on the wrong subtool. Yeah, it has a tendency to just kind of smoosh things. Actually, in this thing's case, it did a pretty good job because these are mostly straight down anyway, straight up and down anyway. But really, all it did, if you look very closely at these, yeah, it just kind of flattened them to that area right there, and we really just want to get rid of them. So let me undo that. And to do that, you've got a couple of methods. One would be to just, instead of the brush or the clip curve brush, go to the trim curve, and let's turn on polyframes here, and I'm going to hold Control Shift, drag it across so that I get a new polygroup out of these things. Let's see, let's try somewhere around in here. And oh, did I use trim? Oh, I did, and that actually looks like it chopped it as well as and probably filled the holes in it as well. Let's see how that actually might work pretty well. Let's see how it renders though. Looks like it might be a little bit thin. Yeah, let's see, I'm not really liking that in terms of, here, let's undo that. Yeah, I think that did something a little untoward there. So instead of trim, let's use slice. And let's turn polyframe back on so you'll see what I'm talking about. Trim up to around here. Make sure it's well out beyond. And you can't see it, but what it did is it gave new polygroups to those things. So now I can switch to, say, my slice or select rec or select lasso, and click, Control Shift click that, and it should now just have just those bristles. Turn polyframes off. Although, one thing I did notice was when I used that trim curve instead of slice, it dropped the poly count. So let's see what we can get out of that. Yeah, that dropped the count and still kept the bristles fairly nice. So that may be another way to proceed with these things. It seems to do a pretty good job. The other thing that does is it caps the holes on the ends of those. Alright, so I'm going to switch back up to my handle there, and let's just hide this guy just a second, just to make sure that I can clear the mask, re-Dynamesh, and yeah, get good holes out of those. It's looking good. think I want to take that handle down some. We'll try slicing it. We'll see how it works. Clipping it. We'll see how it works. Actually, let me just try trimming it. No, let's use clip because I know clip will work. Let's see. Let's start off down here. Don't like the way that arcs. Let's see. I'll just pull it up and then angle it. Sometimes you can just kind of point it to the end that you want. Oop, sorry, wrong direction. Actually, just let me do that. Just hold Alt. Yeah, I was afraid of that. It's going to take it down to that. Oh yeah, and I'm cutting a little close there too, so give this one more go. Let's try double tapping it and just using an angle, and if I need more of a bend to it later, I can add it back in. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, and then if I need more of a bend, I'll just use a little smoothing. Not too much, not that much smoothing. Let's try masking it. See how that does. Yeah, there we go. That's more like it. And let's see, let's maybe get a little bit of a move there. Pull that guy back in just some, and then yeah. Ooh. Alright, that's probably about as good as I'm going to get that. I may come back and take that all down anyway. Let me back that out. Yeah, that's probably the best. Okay, I'll pick this up in the next one.